Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Always ready.
Okay, so today we're tackling something super important for all you construction pros out there, especially if you're aiming for that Gold Seal certification. We're talking about document management.
Document management, the unsung hero of successful projects.
Exactly. We've got this Gold Seal training series document that really digs into the nitty-gritty of using company and project procedures for, well, you guessed it, document management. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not just about being organized. It's about showing you've got that organizational competence. And guess what? That's a huge factor in getting Gold Seal certified.
It's a big deal, a really big deal. Shows you can handle the whole project,
Right. So for anyone out there who might not be super familiar with Gold Seal certification, can you give us the quick rundown of what it is and why it's so valuable?
Sure thing. Gold Seal certification. It's like the gold standard, the top tier for construction managers here in Canada. Think of it as like a seal of approval.
I like that, a seal of approval.
Yeah. It shows you've got the knowledge, the skills, the experience to manage projects like a pro. And a big part of that is, you guessed it, organizational competence.
And that's where document management comes in. It's not just like shoving papers in a filing cabinet.
No way. This is about making sure all your documentation, everything is consistent, accurate, and, follows all the rules.
Compliant.
Compliant, exactly.
Yeah.
Think about it. If your documents are a mess, it's a recipe for disaster. You got errors, regulatory headaches, communication breakdowns. Nobody wants that.
No, definitely not. So let's get practical here. What are some steps, some real steps that someone can take to nail document management? I know the document we're looking at today has some great advice.
Well, the first thing, honestly, you got to know the rules, like really know them. Your company's document management policies, inside and out.
It makes sense.
And just as important, any client-specific requirements. Those can trip you up if you're not careful.
Speaking of client requirements, how are those usually communicated? Is there a standard way that happens?
Often, it's in the contracts themselves. Like, take the CCDC2 contract, pretty common in the industry, right? Well, it's got specific sections, GC 3.9 and GC 5.2, that spell it all out, the documentation stuff.
Okay, so GC 3.9 and 5.2 of CCDC2 contracts.
Okay.
Got it. What do those sections actually say about document management?
All right, so GC 3.9. That one's all about what the contractor has to do when it comes to information and submissions. Shop drawings, samples, test results, all that jazz.
Makes sense. And 5.2?
5.2 gets into the details of how the contractor should actually handle those submissions. The process, the format, all that good stuff.
So know your company rules, know your client rules. What comes next?
Procedures, my friend, procedures. Gotta have clear procedures. Think naming conventions for files so everyone's on the same page. Version control so you're not digging through a million drafts.
So important. I've wasted so much time trying to find the latest version of a document.
Yeah, no one needs that. And clear approval workflows. Who's responsible for what? No more confusion.
All right, everyone knows exactly what they need to do. But let's be real, getting everyone to actually follow new procedures, that can be tough.
It can be. That's why training is so important. Everyone on the team needs to be on board, understand why these procedures matter.
Yeah, buy-in is crucial. What else helps?
Templates and checklists, honestly. Lifesavers. Helps people avoid mistakes, keeps everything consistent.
Templates and checklists. I like it.
Yeah.
Simple but effective. Speaking of tools, our document mentions technology. What role does tech play in all of this?
Oh, tech is huge. Software like Procore or Autodesk Construction Cloud, they can seriously up your document management game.
In what way?
Well, they help enforce those protocols we talked about, track different versions, even create audit trails so you know who did what and when.
So if you're on like a massive construction project with tons of documents, this kind of software is a must-have.
Pretty much. Helps keep everything organized, make sure everyone's working with the latest and greatest.
And what about the legal side of things?
Yeah.
Compliance with all those regulations, where does document management fit into that?
Oh, that's huge. Think about all those critical documents, RFIs, change orders, submittals. Got to be documented properly, and they got to be in line with all the legal and contractual requirements.
That sounds like a lot.
It is. We're talking provincial and federal regulations, retention periods, privacy laws, the whole 9 yards.
Wow, so many things to keep track of. How do you make sure it all stays on track? How do you make sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Regular audits. That's your secret weapon. They help you see if everyone's following the rules, and if there are any issues, you can catch them early on.
So audits are like a checkup for your document management system.
Exactly.
Okay, we've covered the rules, the procedures, the tech, the legal side. But what about access? Like, if people can't even find the documents they need, what good is all of this?
You got it. Accessibility is key. You need a clear filing system, whether it's digital or physical, doesn't matter. And everyone needs to know how to use it. No more lost
No
documents.
more wasted time searching.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. Can you walk us through a real-world example of how all of this comes together on a project? I know the document has a case study.
They do. They talk about this multi-phase commercial construction project. The team used Procore to handle all their documents, kept everything organized, accessible, compliant with those CCDC requirements we talked about.
Sounds like a success story.
Definitely.
So, big picture, what's the takeaway for our listeners? Why does all this matter?
Well, good document management, it's not just about being tidy, it's about minimizing risks, building trust, and keeping the project running smooth. And for anyone going for Gold Seal certification, mastering document management, that's a big signal that you're serious about organizational excellence.
Shows you're not messing around. You've got systems in place. And that's a wrap for today. But before we go, something to ponder. What happens when a critical project document goes missing? Or it's outdated? What impact could that have on the project? The timeline, the budget, the legal side of things. Something to think about. Keep learning about Gold Seal certification. Explore those tools we talked about.
Yeah, there's a whole world of resources out there.
Until next time.